So I'm getting set up to do a trial fitment of the V6 back into the car, with all the changes I've made with the new adapter plates and relocating the alternator from one side to the other and a different alternator. And in particular, I need to look at the remote oil filter setup. This is the original takeoff plate used by the previous converter. I want to put oil water exchanger in there rather than running a conventional oil cooler. But I just thought I'd take a moment to talk about using an engine crane and some of the things that I see other people doing that can be less than ideal. So this is your absolutely typical Chinese manufactured engine cranes. You know, they're really a very good bit of equipment, tremendous value for money. This is the bigger one, the 2 ton, rated at half a ton at full extension as I have it here. And I need absolutely every bit of extension I can get to get the engine and gearbox into the Esprit. But there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. The centre of gravity of this engine and gearbox arrangement will be in line with this point here. Doesn't matter, once it's suspended up in the air, doesn't matter how uneven it is between the engine and the gearbox, they will swing and the centre of gravity will be directly under here. And if I pan down, there's the front caster of the crane, and that's almost in line with that point, which means that should the engine and gearbox swing forward, as they might do when you're moving the engine crane, that centre of gravity can move out in front of these wheels, and then you're totally reliant on the mass of the crane itself to keep the back end of the crane on the ground. And I have unfortunately been present at one accident where somebody managed to spit a crane out the back, and fortunately they didn't have the engine lifted very high, which limited the amount of force and the distance that the crane spat out, but it still didn't do them any good. You know, they were hobbling for a week or more, having been clouted in the shins very badly. But I've seen videos online of, you know, people being thrown across a workshop when they get a crane balance like that. So do not move a weight suspended from a crane if you can avoid doing so. You know, if you want to move an engine across a workshop, put a bit of wood across the legs of the crane and lower the weight down onto the bit of wood so it can't swing. I mean, even better, don't have the boom extended if you don't need it, but you know, it's a thing that can be really dangerous. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be, or probably 99 times out of 100 you're going to be absolutely fine, but the consequences of getting it wrong can be very serious and are easily avoided. You know, my concrete floor in here is really pretty smooth, but for instance you can see I've got a slab joint here, and I have moved the car all the way forward so that the front casters are beyond that line, and I'm not going to have to roll the crane over that joint, because with solid metal wheels they don't want to roll, and that's when you see people starting to shove the crane which is exactly how you get a load swinging. So now that that serious bit is out the way, I've just got a couple more tips about these engine cranes. Now they generally come with quite a long length of chain and a hook on the end. And you can first of all see my hook has only got the 2 links on it, because I cut it down. I'd normally have that in here, and it's only that long because that's what it takes to get a link in that orientation for the bolt. And the length of chain they normally have, I've seen very few situations where that length of chain is helpful. And you know, normally it's the your slings where you've got the easily adjustable length. So my first tip is cut down your hook and chain. Now these very cheaply available load balancers, they too come with a length of chain, and for some reason it's 2 links, and I'm pretty sure the reason that they come with 2 links is so that they will then hang from your crane hook. Now I'm a little bit shy on lifting height potentially, so I wanted to shorten up, but it also makes things much more controllable. So what I did was I went and found the bit of chain I'd cut from this, and I've now got that bolted in. I only did that because it was to hand, otherwise I might even have gone and found a piece of plate and drilled 2 holes in it and put it through the slot in the end of the arm, and that also gives you a lot more controllability in that the load doesn't want to twist as you lift it. So anyway, hopefully there's some useful bits of information in there that make it easier if you're using a crane. A little bit of preparation in advance can make things quite a bit easier and safer.